A snake is eliminated from your life. The name will hurt you, but watch fast, my dear child. Archangel Michael has a message for you today, so please don't skip this video. There are moments in your life where you feel a strange relief, but you don't know why. Something shifts, but no explanation comes. You suddenly feel lighter, but the source of that weight was never clear. That's not coincidence, that's deliverance. And today, heaven confirms what your spirit has been sensing quietly for days: the snake is gone. Yes, the one who smiled in your face but hissed behind your back. The one who said, "I care for you," but poisoned your name the moment you turned around. You didn't see it clearly. You didn't always recognize it. But God did. And He waited until the right time. The time when your spirit was strong enough to hear the truth without it destroying you. Because the name will hurt, but the truth will heal. Archangel Michael stood over your name in the realm of the spirit and said, "This venom will not reach them. I refuse to let them be bitten again." That's when the hand of God moved. Silently. Invisibly. But powerfully. And today, the snake has been removed. It wasn't an accident. It wasn't a falling out. It was a divine extraction. And even though part of you still longs for the connection, still questions what went wrong, still wonders if it was your fault, heaven says no, child. It was never your fault. You simply couldn't hear the hissing under the praise. You couldn't see the deceit behind the soft eyes. And that's okay. Because love is not blindness. Love is trust. And you trusted with purity. They betrayed with intention. But now, your eyes are waking up. The name is familiar. That's why it cuts. The name is close. That's why it burns. This wasn't a stranger. This wasn't someone passing by. This was someone you defended. Someone you prayed for. Someone you allowed into your softest spaces. And yet they were shedding skin while gathering secrets. Archangel Michael says this: "You will weep for a moment, but you will rejoice for a lifetime. For I have ended what would have destroyed you later." This is not just a breakup. This is not just an ending. This is a spiritual rescue. And you, beloved, were worth saving. The place you are walking into now can no longer be shared with people who wear masks. This next season of your life demands realness, purity, alignment. And the snake could not come with you. So it was cut off. Not by your hand, but by heaven's justice. You were never naive. You were just real. You loved with both hands open, without keeping count, without building walls. But they mistook your softness for weakness, your kindness for ignorance. What they didn't realize is that while you were speaking from your heart, heaven was listening. Every time they spoke ill of you behind closed doors, every time they took your loyalty for granted, every time they smiled to your face while scheming in the dark, God was watching. And while you thought nothing was happening, the realm of the Spirit was moving like fire. Archangel Michael was tracing their words, tracking their intentions, studying their energy, waiting for God's command. And now, it has happened. The separation has occurred. The energy has shifted. The curtain has been torn. The snake is no longer hidden, it has been removed. And though your heart aches, your soul is being protected in ways you can't yet see. Because God is not just saving your present, He's preserving your future. The person whose name will soon be revealed to you wasn't just a betrayer of your now, they were a threat to your next. They were planting seeds of doubt, fear, and self-hate inside you, not all at once, but slowly, subtly, like poison. But you didn't see it, because your love was louder than your suspicion. You were focused on healing, forgiving, hoping, holding on. But heaven was focused on something else, your calling. And that calling cannot be fulfilled in the presence of silent destroyers. So God did what only God can do, He removed them without a scene, without a scandal, without needing you to bleed for it. One day they were there. Now they are gone. That's not loss, beloved. That's protection. And what will hurt the most is not the memory, it will be the name. The realization that the one you trusted, the one you laughed with, the one you prayed for, had an agenda. But even in that pain, there is mercy. Because the exposure didn't come after your purpose bloomed, it came before. You were spared. Their words may have pierced, but your destiny is untouched. Archangel Michael says, "Let them go." Heaven heard what you never did. And I stood watch when you were asleep. There are prayers you didn't pray that were still answered. There are attacks you didn't notice that were still blocked. There are tears you didn't cry because heaven wept for you first. And now, with the snake gone, your garden can breathe again. You will feel your energy rise again. You will sleep deeper. You will laugh freer. Because the unseen weight has been lifted. This isn't just a moment of betrayal, it is a holy turning point. You are stepping into a new chapter of clarity. A season of truth. A life of fewer people but deeper connections. The fake has been removed so the real can finally enter. And beloved, what is coming next will not hurt. It will heal. It will restore. It will remind you why the snake had to leave. And when the name finally reaches your ears, do not tremble. Do not chase closure. Do not seek revenge. Just breathe. Smile. And say, God, thank you for loving me enough to take away what I didn't have the strength to release. Archangel Michael says, the betrayal was not new, but your awakening to it is. And now that your eyes are opening, you'll begin to see the patterns, the way they always shifted blame, how they smiled too easily when things went wrong for you, how they clapped when others praised you, but their spirit never joined the celebration. They were waiting for your fall. Not because you hurt them, but because your light disturbed their darkness. And instead of healing with you, they hid behind jealousy, cloaked in compliments. You loved them without calculation. You poured into them even when you were running dry. But that wasn't enough for them. Because they didn't want to rise with you, they wanted to rise above you. And when they couldn't, they tried to slow you. Smiling, laughing, but twisting truth behind the scenes. Yet they forgot that when a child of God is under divine protection, no whispered lie can last. No private slander can prosper. No hidden venom can infect your purpose. And today, heaven declares, you are free. God is not only speaking about the past. He is cleaning your path for the future. And in this clearing, there will be discomfort. There will be moments when memories replay. There will be hours where your heart asks, did I deserve this? But Archangel Michael speaks again, no, you didn't. But you needed to walk through it to learn who cannot walk with you. Because not every smile deserves access. Not every friend deserves your front row. Some people are assigned only to the first chapters of your story, and if you force them into your finale, they will twist your plot. God had to interrupt it. Even if it hurt. Because your soul is too valuable, your calling too divine, your journey too anointed to be delayed by someone pretending to care. You may feel lonely now. But listen, loneliness is not a punishment. It is preparation. The silence you're walking through is the sound of heaven rearranging your circle. The ache in your chest is the stretching of your spirit into deeper wisdom. The tears that fall without warning are not signs of weakness, they are oil. They are washing away the last residue of false connection. The last strings of emotional attachment to someone who never planned to stay loyal to your growth. Let them go. Let the pain rise. Let it burn. Because the healing that follows will change your life. This is why your dreams have been intense lately. This is why your energy has shifted. Why certain conversations no longer feed your soul. Why you're sensing who's real and who's not with deeper clarity. Because Archangel Michael has touched your discernment. He has sharpened your ears. Your spirit is no longer blind. You don't need evidence to trust your peace. You don't need proof to walk away. Your spirit already knows. And now, so do you. Don't waste your days asking, why did they do this? Spend your days saying, thank you, God, for revealing it before it went further. Because many live years under the spell of fake love. But you were chosen to be shown. And that is not loss, that is mercy. You will rise from this. Not weaker. Not colder. But wiser. Cleaner. Stronger. This wasn't an ending. It was a graduation. They always said they were proud of you, but heaven knows what they said when you walked away. The room that once echoed with laughter became the chamber of whispers. You offered loyalty, they offered lies. You gave your presence, they gave poison. And you stayed, longer than you should have, not because you were blind, but because your heart hoped they would change. You believed in them more than they believed in themselves. You covered for them, defended them, even made excuses for their absence when they should have stood by your side. But in the spirit realm, your name was being surrounded by light while they were trying to keep it in shadow. And now, Archangel Michael says, I have removed the mask. I have revealed the snake. And now I'm restoring what they tried to steal. Yes, beloved, because they weren't just stealing your peace, they were quietly draining your favor. They knew your light. They knew your future. They knew how powerful your soul was even before you did. And instead of celebrating it, they tried to dim it. With comments disguised as jokes. With actions hidden behind smiles. With energy that spoke louder than their words. But now, the realm of God has stepped in. You've been too protected to be poisoned. Too chosen to be cancelled. Too covered to be cursed. The trap they set for you, heaven saw it. The lies they told about you, God heard them. The dark plans they whispered at night, Archangel Michael stood guard. And now, it's over. You might be asking, why did it take so long to see the truth? Because timing in the kingdom is different from timing in the flesh. God wasn't just exposing the snake, He was strengthening you for the aftermath. You had to be strong enough not to retaliate. You had to be wise enough not to react. You had to be spiritually mature enough to walk away and not turn around. And now you are. You don't need revenge. You don't need to prove yourself. Their exposure is not your burden. Their actions are not your identity. Your job now is simple: heal and rise. Because what's ahead is too glorious for you to keep looking back. And when you start to feel the emptiness where their presence used to be, remind yourself, I didn't lose love. I lost manipulation. I lost lies. I lost control disguised as concern. The ache you feel is not abandonment. It's purification. Your soul is detoxing from fake intimacy. Your atmosphere is being cleared of low vibrations. That silence you're sitting in, it's holy. That peace you're hearing, it's your spirit breathing again. And that sudden burst of courage you felt in the last few days, that's heaven whispering, now you are free. Let them talk. Let them misunderstand. Let them watch from afar. They will see you glow. They will see you rise. And when they finally realize who you were all along, it will be too late. Because you won't need their apology. You won't need their explanation. You'll be too busy walking in the divine version of yourself that their energy never deserved to witness. You're not just being protected, you're being promoted. You're not just being freed, you're being elevated. This pain was not punishment, it was positioning. Archangel Michael stood by when you cried silently and told no one. He saw the moments where you questioned your own worth because someone else couldn't recognize it. He watched you shrink your heart to make space for someone who never planned to honor it. And today, heaven speaks directly to your soul. You were not the fool. You were the forgiver. You were not weak. You were wounded. You were not too much. You were too true for someone who wasn't ready. And now that their mask is removed, now that the truth has surfaced, you are being given something more precious than revenge: clarity. The kind of clarity that doesn't scream. It whispers. It doesn't burn, it purifies. You may still love them. That's okay. Love doesn't disappear with exposure, it transforms. Love becomes a lesson. Love becomes closure. Love becomes understanding that says, I needed that pain to recognize my own value. And your spirit is rising now. You don't need to argue. You don't need to post cryptic quotes. You don't need to prove you were right. Because peace is louder than proof. And peace is now your portion. What they tried to remove from your life, God is about to multiply. What they took, heaven will return sevenfold, not just in things, but in people who truly see you, spaces that truly heal you, and opportunities that will never require you to shrink. And listen closely, because Michael says this isn't just about one person. This is about a pattern. A pattern that's been cycling through your life for too long. Different faces, same betrayal. Different voices, same manipulation. Different hands, same control. But now, heaven has drawn the line. God is severing the soul tie that keeps attracting people who mirror your pain instead of mirroring your healing. And it may feel unfamiliar at first. It may feel quiet. It may feel lonely. But don't confuse peace with emptiness. Don't mistake divine separation for abandonment. You are not alone. You are surrounded by angels. And Michael has already been given the assignment: guard them while I rebuild their future. Yes, your future is being rebuilt, not from the hands of people who broke you, but from the hands of the God who shaped you. No more editing yourself to be accepted. No more doubting your gut just to avoid conflict. No more apologizing for how deeply you love. The season of hiding is over. The season of being misunderstood is closing. A new anointing is coming over your life, an anointing to discern quickly, to walk away peacefully, and to rise without guilt. This betrayal didn't break you. It awakened the bold version of you. The healed version. The real version. So breathe now. Not with fear, but with relief. Heaven didn't forget you. It was watching, waiting, and now it has acted. That snake didn't win. It was just allowed long enough for you to recognize your strength. And now, you are being crowned. Not with gold, but with wisdom. Not with titles, but with truth. Not with vengeance, but with vision. The name may hurt. The memory may sting. But your soul is safe. And your next chapter is holy. There are moments in life when God allows the curtain to fall, not to humiliate you, but to reveal the performance you didn't even know you were watching. And now, Archangel Michael says, the scene is over. The act has ended. The truth is standing in front of you. You've been faithful to people who were only loyal to their benefit. You gave your time, your heart, your trust, like sacred offerings, and they took them with hands that had already touched deception. But don't regret the love you gave. Don't mourn the loyalty you showed. Because what you gave came from a pure soul. And heaven honors that. What you didn't know is that this snake wasn't just stealing your joy, they were blocking your blessings. Yes, behind the scenes, while you were praying and fasting and crying out to God, their presence was contaminating the atmosphere of your life. They smiled in your light but whispered in your shadow. And now the veil is torn. Now the voice of heaven is loud. Now the sword of Michael has cut what needed to be severed. You didn't lose them, they lost access to a realm they never respected. You didn't lose comfort, you gained clarity. You didn't lose love, you were spared destruction. And listen, child of God, this is more than betrayal. This is the breaking of a generational chain. That person was the embodiment of a cycle that ran through your bloodline, cycles of silence, suppression, manipulation disguised as love, betrayal disguised as loyalty. But this time, it ends with you. Because now you have eyes to see. You have ears to hear. You have a heart that doesn't settle for less than it deserves. And this healing may feel heavy, but it is holy. This release may feel lonely, but it is divine. This season of separation isn't rejection, it's preparation. Because what God is about to do in your life can't be touched by dirty hands, can't be witnessed by jealous spirits, and can't be accompanied by the snake who almost got away with everything. So don't chase closure from someone who was never honest. Don't beg for words from lips that only spoke in riddles. Don't seek validation in a heart that was never open. The apology may never come. The explanation may never arrive. But what will arrive is joy, peace, alignment, new doors, real love. angelic protection, and purpose that fits your soul like it was tailored in heaven. You will wake up one morning and realize, you didn't just survive this. You were reborn through it. And everything that comes after this moment will carry the fragrance of God's hand. Archangel Michael is not done. He is standing at the door of your home. Not with a warning, but with a blessing. With scrolls from heaven. With declarations of restoration. With messages of vindication. Because while they were planning your downfall, heaven was scripting your elevation. While they laughed at your silence, angels were dancing over your name. While they tried to erase you, God was rewriting your legacy. And now you rise. Heaven watched how long you stayed quiet. Archangel Michael saw the way you protected their name even when they dragged yours. You hid their secrets. You carried the weight of what they did just to keep peace. And now God is saying, no more. No more covering lies with your purity. No more dimming your light to make their shadow feel safe. No more waiting for someone who never planned to walk beside you in truth. This betrayal did not destroy you, it delivered you. This exposure did not shame you, it sanctified you. What they meant for evil, heaven has already transformed into your testimony. You don't need revenge when you have revelation. You don't need a loud response when you have angelic confirmation. Archangel Michael didn't fight just to make you feel better, he fought to cleanse your future. He stood between your name and their curses. He stood in your room while you slept and rewrote what they were trying to destroy. You thought it was just heartbreak, but it was spiritual warfare. You thought it was just silence, but it was divine separation. You thought you were abandoned, but you were being protected.